Après 2 ans maintenant, ce groupe-là, le Shelter Cluster, vraiment fait un travail colossal. Aujourd'hui, après 2 ans, la reconstruction définitive est lancée.
The cluster system is a way of life of the humanitarian community, how we respond to problems. And problems, we talk about big magnitude issues, crisis, conflict, natural disasters.
The cluster tries to fill in for a gap, but you should never do this in a way that undermines the government or that ignores the government.
The government actually co-chairs the CCCM and Shelter Cluster.
The main function of the cluster are, first of all, preparedness, making sure that there's no secondary consequences to the disaster, such as, for example, cholera in the case of Haiti, or the hurricane season. The analysis of the needs on the ground, understanding who needs what, where are the gaps, where are the most vulnerable people. Setting up of coordination systems to make sure that all the actors are talking to each other. And mobilizing resources, making sure that donors are aware of the gaps, making sure that government is aware of the needs so that funds can be mobilized towards those specific needs. Also the issue of information management, sharing updates on how many shelters have been built or how many camps are there, how many people are displaced.
Since August, the path is slowing down, and that is something that is worrying for us, since there are still about 500,000 people in camps. The core function of an information management unit is to generate knowledge and in time of emergency, and to help the coordination mechanism use this knowledge and this information to take informed decisions.
We would like to apply the best information that we can to quantify what our needs would be for key assistance types.
You have a general coordination meeting that happens on a weekly or monthly basis or daily basis after an emergency, and that is a meeting open to everyone. Then you have a small group of agencies, for example, that are in charge of the strategic decisions of the cluster. And then you might have a group of agencies that have particular technical skills on communication, on designs, on protection, and they meet to discuss a specific issue.
After 2.5 years, where a shelter should be put and should not be put. That's the role of a cluster. Calculate how many shelters you actually need in a context. At what point in an emergency should temporary shelters come in? When should the emergency shelter be phased out? So it kind of puts everyone on the same page and guides everyone along.
Par exemple, il y a les activités de mitigation.
Les activités qui sont assez importantes du cluster, donc il y a les formations et les sessions d'appui pour assurer que les partenaires aient les mêmes outils en main pour effectivement faire leurs activités.
Les agences humanitaires soient beaucoup plus
vise à la fois donc des acteurs internationaux, des acteurs locaux, nationaux, les autorités, afin qu'on soit sûr qu'on évite notamment la duplication de la réponse, la fiabilité des alertes et en étant sûr que tout le monde soit sur la même longueur d'onde. Il y a 2 autres activités qui sont vraiment importantes, qui sont d'une part le plaidoyer, donc plaidoyer qui peut prendre plusieurs formes, plaidoyer pour le maintien des services essentiels dans les camps. Autre activité, d'autre part, qui est l'intégration des thèmes transversaux, notamment s'assurer que par exemple dans les activités de réponse, qu'il y ait une transversalité et aussi une intégration des différentes dimensions afin d'offrir des services adéquats aux personnes de manière coordonnée et efficace.
So that is one of the tools that was used here in Haiti to try to use in the most effective and efficient way such a diverse group of NGOs and people that showed up after the emergency.
Why, yeah, yo, why, yeah, yeah. Patande wayo, patande wayayo, patande wayo, patande wayayo.
In Haiti, because in a sense it's so close to North America, and already there are a lot of small NGOs that come from North America to help, everybody came down here. And many of those organizations had no experience of responding to a massive earthquake as we had here.
On top of that, the emergency was in an urban setting, and organizations are not really used to work on urban settings. We are generally more used to rural areas.
Coordination a révélé vraiment difficile pour nous coordonner ensemble avec Monsaï. Maintenant, après quelques jours, il y a un cluster qui vient mettre en place. Surtout cluster Abria, cluster Shelter qui vient mettre en place. Quand nous avons commencé, le gouvernement a délégué un représentant pour participer à la coordination.
The cluster for us was really the place where to go to any given moment, day and night, I would say, to ask for questions, to ask for guidance, to ask for support, training, which was also provided, and also, once we got some experience, we were able to share our experiences, what had worked for us, with other members of the cluster.
We tried to cover every single square meter that has been affected by this disaster with the shelter cluster and the CCCM group of agencies working. And the good thing is that since they're a group, it's very easy to come with generic solutions.
As we move from the emergency into the transition and into the development phase, equally there's a need for coordination, not only in terms of each actor offering equivalent solutions so that one family in one camp and a family in another camp would receive, in some sense, of an equality of solution, but equally there also needs to be some point of reference for all those international agencies to have a line of communication and dialogue with the government, who increasingly take their role in leadership in terms of strategy and policy and how the country is going to move forward from the earthquake. So the cluster forms that link not only between the agencies but also between the international agencies and the government as they deal with the ongoing emergency.
But
there comes a point where perhaps the government, after being initially weakened by the earthquake, is starting to feel that it can start to take over, where little by little we'll try and transfer or share responsibility for the clusters with our counterparts. So here in Haiti, the camp management cluster is co-chaired by somebody from government.
Right now, we're leaving the emergency phase and we're going to the definite construction phase. And it comes with a lot of, as the government has a normative role in construction, best practices, all these, documents that we have been developing during the emergency period. How do we transfer that to the population? Haiti is going to go into a very intensive self-reconstruction phase. So how do we rebuild back better?
Avant longtemps, ma chère, on va chavirer. Avant longtemps, ma chère, on va chavirer. Avant longtemps, ma chère, on va chavirer.